Hello, hello, hello. I got my blackberry smoothie here. And I got my squishy toys. And I want to make a relaxing video now. Because these relaxing videos that I make, they relax my brain as well while I make it and when I rewatch it. And that's real cool. And I recommend blackberry smoothies. I hope that doesn't fall over. Made with banana, fresh blackberries from the garden, and oats, like 2 cups of oats, soaked already, and water. And nothing else, no sugar, no sweetener. It's absolutely fantastic. It's vegan. It's whole food. It's fresh. Has a lot of raw in it. And it is gourmet. It tastes gourmet. And it's super ultra superfood and healthy. I thought with this jacket I might use these two. They kind of go along with the jacket and also with the tank top. I tried the English Laurel tea last night and it was extremely sedative. It's very much a tranquilizer. Sometimes when I take too much of a nerve calming substance at night, what happens is very interesting. What happens then? If I take too much of it, then when I fall asleep, in that process of falling asleep, my psychological defense mechanism is coming in. My psychological defense mechanism lets off a little bit. It's kind of like a muscle almost, and that's the ego, of course. And when that lets off, because of the relaxation, there's so much relaxation that the ego relaxes too a little bit, And then what happens is then there could be pain from the past surging up, particularly when we're falling asleep or when we're sleeping, and then dreams can come up. And these dreams can contain past memories and stuff like this, and then maybe we're not really we might not be ready to process that yet. That particularly happens when people take hallucinogenic drugs. They're not ready to deal with the kind of stuff that comes up then. What those things are doing really is they have basically the same function, they disable the ego. They disable the psychological defense mechanism, which is the ego. And they disable the so-called gates, as Esther Odermatt, my therapist from LA, called it, the gates of consciousness, So we have gates there. They don't allow everything in. And Dr. Hindak Emrich from Medizinische Hochschule Hannover, Germany, had back in the 80s, I think 80s or early 90s, he discovered that what Esther called the gates, he discovered that in his clients, he discovered what he called the discrimination ribbon. There's a formation in the brain that is processing information and that is very careful in regards to letting information come into the senses, the sense perception, which is the brain, the central nervous system. I don't know if that's exactly the same thing, but I think the ego and that discrimination ribbon, they have a lot to do with each other. That's what I think. That's very interesting to get into that. So, yeah, my pain from the childhood trauma can come up during falling asleep process, and then it comes up in nightmares, of course, where I wake up screaming, and it can come up in this ego type of hurt where I wake up from it. If I didn't have an ego, I would be a god. Nobody is a god. So I talked about this many times before. Even the Buddha level soul, which is one level above the God level soul, and that those are just words, those are just names. There's only one, what other people would call God, the deity. There's only one, the one thing, and that is the infinite cosmos. Okay. Even the Buddha level soul, which is Elon Musk, he's the highest. There are some other Buddha level souls in the world. There are some others. Bomjan in India is. Elon Musk is the highest. Each soul developmental level contains sub-levels, of course, and it is a gradual process. Elon Musk is the highest, and he is very, 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 very close to merging with the infinite cosmos, then there's no more separation at all. He's no more separated, as he's no longer a separated entity. Then he will be merging with the infinite cosmos, and that will be happening on Mars for him. Okay, that's what he wished for, and that's wonderful. When he's old, hopefully not when he's young. So maybe he will figure out a rejuvenation program where he can stay young for another couple of 100 years or something. Who knows? But, eventually, we're all gonna die eventually, And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I find existence quite exhausting. I'm constantly like, let me rest. I need to rest. I need to go into hot springs. I need to soak in hot spring pools, naked. I want to put mud all over my body. I need to be pampered. I want to pamper you right now. I want to pamper myself. I pamper myself, and I recommend to other people to do the same thing. Put bentonite clay on your face at night, okay? Go to sleep with that. And drink Pieris japonica tea and English laurel. And rhododendron and Camellia japonica and ivy. Tea for you and me, for all of us. I need a European Basset Hound. Okay? They're squishy like this here. I have to have one. I have to get one. I'm addicted to them. That's the truth. There's no other way around it. I talked to Paul earlier about this out in the garden while we were getting grounded, and I said I try to live my life as ethical and as compassionate and being the least burden as I can be for the world, for the earth, for the plants, for the other animals, for all beings, okay? Try to not cause CO2 pollution, of course, when we exist as we are biological mass, okay? We create greenhouse gases, whether we want it or not. But we can be very conscious in the way we live. Have eco heaters, During the summertime, it gets kind of chilly, even in this area here. So instead of turning the heater on at night, I wear long pants and a sweater. So. And winter boots. That helps. But I said to Paul, there comes a limit at some point with my ethical living, ethical conduct, of course. I exist. Derek Jensen wrote about that also in his books. He said, even if we are really conscious on how we live, we should be, we still exist, we are consumers. So he was particularly criticizing civilization and over consuming. So I fully agree with him on this. I met Derek Jensen. He's a very sweet person. Very, very, very highly conscientious person. Unfortunately, I met him during a very, 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 very terrible mind state of mine. After Samantha died, one of our former dogs, I was in a terrible mind state. That's not the best time to meet someone like Derek Jensen. So, and then I blow it all because I'm a terrible mind state. But whatever. He looks a lot like my brother. I have your back. Yes, I know. You got my back too. We have each other's backs. Yes. And we can turn around and make love like this. Yes. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes. That's good. Yes, it's good. So I said there's a point, at some point, unfortunately, and I feel bad about that, because I want to live absolutely 100% ethically, but it's impossible. I can't. Okay. I eat an ice cream once in a while. I eat chocolate once in a while. I eat chicken once in a while. They probably were not treated that well. Once in a great while I might eat tuna or smoked salmon. I'd rather not do it, but once in a while Paul will give that to me, and then it's hard to say no. But I completely quit cheese. He has imitation cheese, which tastes good too, but it is made with coconut grease, which also is high in cholesterol. And when you eat anything that's high in cholesterol, you can get tinnitus, like a hissing in the ears. And I tend to get that, and I got almost completely rid of that by quitting cheese and all milk type of products. Any kind, including goat cheese and goat milks and all of that. We have to stay away from animal products, okay? It's very, very important. For the animals and for our own bodies. Okay, it's very important. So I said to Paul, I have to have a European Basset Hound. And he said, he gave me a long lecture. They have, some of them or a lot of them have cesarean section births, and that's cruel. And I said, I know it's cruel. I had debates with the breeders about this. They blocked me on their Facebook groups because I care about the animals and they care about money, They call me bad. You're bad, you caring person. Money good. That's amazing. Well, those people, they live with no ethics at all. And where do I get a European Basset Hound from? Maybe I will find them on the street, but the odds. I'm just saying, so the blue god gives me things. This happens. Okay. I want that to happen. So I can say, my dog is a rescue. I have a t-shirt from PETA. But, obviously, if we look at it from the probability spectrum factor of this, that is as likely as a meteor falling down, or maybe an alien spacecraft landing in there, downstairs there on the first parking lot, and saying, "Hey, we have a European Basset Hound, a nude one, in light blue, with light blue skin." It's kind of like one of my artwork dreams. He's an alien European Basset Hound. Will you adopt him? Yeah, bring. So, or winning the lottery, $10 billion or something. Or accidentally meeting Elon Musk on the freeway or something. So, the odds. The odds are not exactly super likely. Okay. But, it doesn't hurt to wish for something. It doesn't hurt to put something in your wish box. You can put something in your wish box, but then you have to let go of it. And that's difficult for me because I think about the Papa dog, his shape, and I think about Kenny. He was a Great Dane. And all the other dogs, of course. I love all of them infinitely much. The Papa dog's shape is practical. Okay? Very practical. Robust. And the European Basset Hounds have a good spinal cord that does not hang through. They're very sturdy, strong, like a table, like a caterpillar. Very, very robust. They're fantastic dogs. And the big ones weigh around 100 pounds. That's a must have. I need a big dog in my arm. Okay. Have to have a big dog. big, chunky, squishy dog. I need big, chunky dog. Need to put my arm around his belly like this and hold him at night. So we'll see, we're going on our vacation in quotation marks. Okay. It's not a Ritz-Carlton experience. No, it is militia training, survival training. I'm already preparing. We have to. It's the best to go there in autumn and spring, but it gets chilly at night in the desert. We have to be prepared. And who knows, we might find 2 European Bassethounds. On a construction site at night, like in my dream. But with everything that we wish for, we have to let go of it. At least let go of it in terms of clinging. I have to let go of it in terms of putting it in the wish box and then walking away and doing other things, putting my mind into other things. That's why it's really good to do many different things in your life, not just do one thing, a monotonous type of activity that you do every day. For example, being on the computer 8 hours or more per day. That's still, it may seem not monotonous because of what you do, but it is kind of monotonous, and it kind of makes the brain not practice the other things, of course, like sewing and painting. You become lazy in all of these other things that you need to do, and the more activities you do per day, different activities. That's what I do. I paint. I did that earlier. I was sewing. I did that earlier. That's very good. Sewing really, man, that's the ultimate patience practice, because I constantly lose the thread, and then I have to try to find the eye of the needle, put the thread through it, and requires a lot of breathing. I have to tell myself that all the time. Nicola, breathe. Okay, this is not a problem. Okay, breathe. You have time. You can find the eye of the needle, and you can put the thread through. Okay. Thich Nhat Hanh always says that. Breathe. Eckhart Tolle talks about it. Relax. And Pema Chodron said, this is the ultimate, really. Lean into the fear. Breathe into the fear. Okay, the fear is there, whether we like it or not. Okay, worries are there. Excessive thinking about the future, getting caught up with something that you want, you cling to it. You cling to a certain outcome in your life. That's a mental state of resistance. that doesn't that does not lead you to that outcome. It's very important information. Okay. It's getting dark now. I actually learned that the most from Esther Hicks. Paul doesn't like Esther Hicks. He thinks she is corporate. I think it's true, a lot of the stuff that she, not everything, of course. There's not one person on this planet, or I'm probably beyond, not one person who I agree with 100%. Okay. And it's never gonna happen. And it's okay. It's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with it. We can agree to disagree. I don't agree with Esther Hicks's anti-environmental views and anti-animal rights views. I don't know how much she's anti-animal rights. I would like to talk to her, Come, let's have tea together. That would be a real interesting conversation. Because she's an interesting person. Okay. Real interesting. What she and her husband, what they figured out there, whether it's a scam or real. Either way, it's equally much interesting to me. Because there are some people that create scams that are super interesting. Because a lot of what she says, the philosophical point of, the law of attraction, that's spot on. Because I know it, I have practiced it. I have gone into this with meditation. You have to let go of the outcome. I have practiced that, actively practiced that. And you go back, after you'd kind of like completely gotten it out of your mind, you go back later and suddenly it's right there. It's right there. The solution, all of that is right there. And it didn't require a lot of what Esther Hicks calls upstream paddling. Yeah. No, you want to go with the stream. You go with the flow. My mother would always accuse me of wanting to go the path of least resistance. Like that's something bad. She got it all twisted. Like kind of like, in parentheses, you lazy asshole. No, it's exactly the other way around. We should never be struggling or working 10 times harder than we should, which Paul tends to do also. I always say, man, why are you doing this? Why are you struggling like this? I can't even stand watching someone doing something that they shouldn't be doing to themselves. Struggling with people on the phone or whatever. It doesn't lead to anything productive. We have to let go. Okay? Go into meditation. That's also the inwardness process. Let go of the trolling. The hacker particularly. I didn't want to talk about the hacker, but now I'm talking about him again. Okay, whatever. Yeah. The hacker is pretty much on my mind 24 hours a day. Yeah. There's an urgency in the hacker. There's an urgency in his mind. A desperate child. Desperate child, an orphan. I see the situation. I see the loneliness. But with all of us, whatever we want, we put, if you need someone in your life who understands you, you need that. And you will find someone. Put that wish into your wish box and then go into that meditation. Let go of that outcome. Okay. Don't go after someone like a stalker. That's not going to give you that outcome that you want. It will never. It ends up with blood. Okay. Don't do it. A woman is not an item to be in your possession. Okay? We're equals. We're intellectual equals. Okay? Or an animal, a dog. You can't be. The dog's not in your possession. That's a living being. Okay? Go into that inwardness meditation process and let go of the other people. Whoever you feel wronged, has wronged you. They haven't wronged you. Okay? And if they have, they're in their own misery. You have to let go. You have to go into the meditation. You have to breathe. You have to let go of the other people. You have to also, for all of us, we have to let go of other people and let go, and at least in terms of clinging, the clinging or the expectations from others. Okay, we have to let go of that. And we have to let go of the desired outcome in the future in our lives. Okay. So I can wish for something, but then I also have to put my work into it to get it. Like, for example, with the greenhouses, And that's something, as that architect said to me, you don't need to be ultra rich, There are ready-made greenhouses and they will set it up for you. And they are really large, and you don't need to have that made from scratch by an architect. Okay, we pay a couple of $1 million for that. So there are solutions for us, for each person, to get from where you are to where you want to be. Okay. And you don't have to fake it until you make it. Okay? That's something I was thinking about earlier. That's ridiculous. Don't fake anything. Be you and be where you are at. And be okay with it. Okay? And then wish for something. Put it in the wish box. Do something else. Focus on other things. Go into your own mind. Okay, in meditation, breathe and allow your childhood. That's an energetic thing. Okay, that doesn't go anywhere. Like, for example, you squish this thing here, right? This is just an example. You squish this thing around. You can squish it from one point to the other. You can squish it all into the butt, or I can squish it all into the mouse. Okay. In the same way, that is the same with energy, in the infinite cosmos. It's full of energies. There's energy. The past trauma is energy. It doesn't go away. You can squish it from one corner of the house to the other. You can force it out of your mind. It feels like you forced it out of your mind, but it didn't go anywhere. It's still there. It will push up. It will come up with a vengeance in a very uncomfortable situation, maybe. Okay, in a very inappropriate way, maybe. Okay, that's why it is so important that we meditate. It is so vitally important that we meditate, that we allow that to flow as much as we can. Okay. Without drugs, you're not ready to be pushed all the way into that pain. When you take care of your body and your brain, when you live healthy, okay, and you meditate, then your brain can process all of that unfinished business in a gradual and in a manageable way, okay, and then it can really heal. Okay, so you guys take care.